Just getting set up. Obviously doing this on mobile again. But wanted to make sure that I got switched over from Instagram correctly. I had to, this is landscape. I had to pull up, I just got off Instagram Live and now I'm over here in landscape. I had to turn the whole stand to landscape mode. Anyways, howdy everyone. Howdy wonderful Pandemonium. Howdy Claremont Gaming. Howdy Drago Squall. Howdy Peter Blue Spine. Howdy Elisa Fitzsimmons. Howdy Nay the Loud. So I'm going to play some songs I didn't in the last Instagram thing because I never got to it. I just endlessly answered questions. But I did say that I would be answering questions on here too, so I will. I will try to look at the chat and answer some every once in a while. But even when I'm answering a question and playing a song, it's hard for me to look at the chat at the same time. So I apologize. Just spam your questions repeatedly, endlessly into the chat. I'm sure everyone will enjoy that. And I'll see it. I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. Thank you. I'm not advertising this. Is that bad? It's going to be 5 people. Unless they're subscribed. I have no idea. I should advertise it, right? But I'm a little tired today. It's the end of the week, kind of. Friday I'm using as non-creative work. And this is technically because I needed to practice today. But I have to do that. I do that anyways, regardless of the stream. Yeah. So I do need to practice Hot on the Trail a bit. I did the acoustic version for the live stream for Patreon last week. Or was it? No, yeah. I did. And then this week, I kind of fumbled with it, so I'm I probably didn't do it enough. Howdy, 11 Ampere. Thank you for coming in. Ooh, we haven't ever done tours. This is Wonder Pandemonium asked if we're doing any tours. But we're just gonna do local shows. We don't have the logistics. We don't have the logistics figured out for everything else. We know how to do it. It's just we're not really set up for that right now. So we're gonna do at least 2 shows. We have no plans for out of state stuff. It's gonna be in San Diego, local, within a half an hour drive from us. And that's what we'll start with to get back up on our feet doing live shows. But obviously we do want to do other states and whatnot, and events maybe. We don't know how it's going to go, but I wouldn't expect anything next year outside of San Diego. We're hoping to do 3 or 4 shows in San Diego at a minimum, but it's based on the projects we're doing and stuff, and we just have to do a show first, and then our second show we'll have our plan is to have backing musicians for our second show in San Diego. So once we get that set up, then we can be this is the setup. If people want to hire us, it's even then, who knows if we'll have it figured out. It's going to take a while. But the show will be good. We're focusing on that. Thanks, people, for coming in. I don't know what I'm going to play other than I'll probably do the standards. I need to do Hot on the Trail, so apologies if you're tired of hearing that one. Peter Bluespine asked if have I ever considered covering Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey? No, I haven't. I've definitely heard that one, but not one that I've considered. I'm not super familiar with it. I'm not super familiar with most of her music, and I don't think I would after the pandemic. I mean, I know my cover of Summertime Sadness came out afterwards, but she said some things that I didn't really agree with on social media. She was kind of iffy about the mask thing, and I'm pretty, it was kind of, I lost a little bit of respect for her. Not that I follow her or anything, but I saw that come out, and I'm well, I'll still release my cover, but I don't really like that. But I like a lot of things. Yeah. Katrin asks, "Is that a giant D20 behind you?" Yeah, I got that on Etsy. Someone makes. I don't know the store name. Unfortunately, it does have a tag on it, but if I'm not gonna walk back there and get it because I'm plugged in here. I could, but maybe in the future I'll look up the store name on it. Yeah, they make stuffed D20s, and you can customize the fabric and the letters. And I'm running 2 Dungeons and Dragon games. I have one this weekend Saturday with Brian and some of the Penyax friends, and I Dungeon Master for it. And then I do have another one that I'm doing with Bunny and her fiance and other people, but that one doesn't happen as often. It's pretty much every month I get around to DMing a game. I'd like to do it more. I feel like I would make time, but it is a lot of work. It's kind of a second job, right? I couldn't do it every week though. That's too much. I did play as a player. I did do it every week for a bit with one group, but I haven't been a player in a long time. The only reason I could get back into D&D was to be a DM. I think that's how it goes with most things, and it's kind of funny though if you think about it. No complaints. I like DMing. I like seeing other people happy about the experience and try to make it as good as possible. But I'm a forever DM, I think, because I'm like no one asks, "Oh, who are you playing with?" You know, like when I tell people, they're like, "Oh, you're DMing, right?" Like I've never, you know what I mean? Like before I DM'd, like people just assumed I did. I'm assuming because of the role in Steam Powered Giraffe, I kind of do everything. I'm like, I'm also the one who, not that I'm an encyclopedia of D&D stuff. I'm pretty rusty actually, but I can schedule things, and I can read my notes sometimes, and every once in a while I remember, Brian, you can't do that actually. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll let you do that, but you know, actually you should take a look at that. That you actually don't roll 2 dice there. So sometimes I get one of those inspirations of like, oh, I remember this rule. Sometimes I don't. Yeah. Basically, I have like some funky D20s just for inspiration dice. So when someone does something cool enough or they're in character enough, I'll give them an inspiration dice, and sometimes it's gonna be that. Right now, I've only given someone like, you know, inspiration if you know D&D. I have a D20 that someone gave me. Not too many things I buy, but you know, when you're into D&D or anything people get you as gifts, it's pretty easy thing. Here's some dice, cool, add it to my bag of 100 dice. So, because I have one of those bags for people who don't have their own, which surprisingly is a lot of people. Sometimes they forget them. Like, don't worry, I got all the multicolored, ugly-looking dice you can possibly want. But no, one of the D20s is one of those. It has like a floating eyeball in it, and that's a kind of cool inspiration dice. I have one of the ones that light up too, but that one seems like pretty cool, right? Yeah. And there's a weight set behind me too, for you know, because Chelsea and I are trying to get swole. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to get more upper body strength. It looks good for the heart too, but I'm not trying to get super buff or anything. Anywho, I just play a song and then I'll look at the chat more. I do want to interact with the chat more because I have seen the critique a little bit that I don't interact enough with it. So if you are one of those people, I hear you. I'm not very good at streaming. I don't do it very often. I do fine, but I could be better. Thanks for the like and subscribe. Like right now, I don't have the notifications, you know, to see what people do. So if someone follows, I don't know if it'll pop up or not. So apologies if it doesn't. Yeah, I think it has an eyeball in it and it moves. That's that D20. I think that's like always facing upward. Let me play a little bit of Clockwork. It's a good warm up for me. So thank you for doing there. I was also, when I was a player, our DM asked me to do one shot. He asked everyone but me, and then no one else was coming forward, and I was like, why don't you ask me? I can do it. and I did, and I ran like 4 campaigns, and then I was like, okay, I can do this. But yeah, I don't think that I am working with two new people and one who's a little more advanced than them and one who's a little more advanced than them. So I think it's a good group because if I was with someone who like knew it like an encyclopedia, they probably wouldn't have a good time, you know, because I'm always looking up stuff. I'm like, or you know, just making stuff up because I don't remember. But so far, people seem to be enjoying it, and I think that's what matters more over than not. You're like, are we gonna level up again? And I'm like, I know it's a month in between sessions, but no. You're gonna be fighting gods in 3 sessions if that's the case. We can't all battle Tiamat in 1 year. Like, I didn't get to like level 13, and it took like 2 or 3 years to get there in one campaign. I'll probably expedite it if we're only getting together a month. I don't know. I'm running like Frozen Sick for one of the groups with some of the new people because I've never run a pre-built campaign before. I've always like made up my own stuff, kind of in the world, but I create a bunch of stuff too. I don't want to memorize the religion and stuff from their lore. That's a lot. That's a lot to. I mean, I'm learning it as I do it over the years, but yeah, it's a pre-built one, and they did something that the game didn't encounter, didn't like have like a thing for it. I'm like, oh yeah, this should exist, and I know it should in this town, but I don't know. I have no information, so making something up on the fly and hoping they don't know, because I was like, what's his name? And I'm like, that's a good question, and they kind of gave me that eye, like, doesn't sound like a real name. I'm like, yep. But you kind of have to have a little humility, because if it was super serious, you don't want to be that DM. Okay, I was playing song. But yeah, I don't think anyone's up to the task to do like one shots. Since we only get together for a month, we started earlier this year, but there's been so many delays. Someone got COVID, and Brian had like shows, and there's just been. If I don't start playing the song, I'll just keep talking endlessly. When I was a young boy, I went down to the county fair, brought myself a nickel, bought a pickle, had change to spare, thought I'd spend a cent. I don't sing these lines, just by the way, in case if I have some. Right, this is Brian and Bunny singing this part. Thought I'd spend a cent or two to see what the robots could do. There were wires all around, electrical sounds, steam from their exhaust, gears and coils all greased raw. Kind of doing their harmonies. Ha ha ha. Everybody's going to the Clockwork vaudeville. Everybody wants to see the show. People crowd the door, scream and shout, while music and song fill the air. A Clockwork vaudeville. Sorry if I'm making it a little slower. I probably did like 5 hours of recording yesterday, and man, I'm actually kind of tired. Not like sleepy tired, but like I feel my voice a little tired from. It's no spoilers, but I was doing some screamy, but it'll be a little spoilery, not really. For all of you who's found my stream, because I didn't advertise it today, except on our Discord. Just a little nugget, but it won't be like, oh no, we're not patrons for Steve Power Giraffe. Why are you giving away this information? But just a little bonus because you showed up to my stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. Here's a little nugget for you. The nugget is I was recording some screamy parts, and not like screamo music or something. Obviously, we're still Steam Powered Giraffe, but sometimes. And but it was a part where I was screaming, and it was up there, like up higher than Hot on the Trail screamy part. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and I did it like 20 times in a row, and I was like, I don't think I got it once, but one of them I did, except for the very tail end of it, where my voice kind of cut out when I was coming down on a note. And I'm like, well, I can fix that by splicing in a new take, but I can't get the other take because I tried. I was like, I need that tail. It's like one note, but you know, you record it as exactly as you did it, but I couldn't do it, and my voice was getting less and less trebly as I was doing it, and I was like, I gotta stop, otherwise my voice is I'm gonna shoot, because you know, you can't scream on your voice, and I'm not, but it was up there, and I'm not gonna try it right now, so that's how I know I did too much yesterday. So I'm like, my voice is a little deeper today, and it's not as malleable as it usually is. But to be fair, I've had a rehearsal this week and two days of studio work as well, and now this. So that's enough. That's enough to keep the voice going. I was gonna do more studio work too, like today, but now I can tell like there's no way I could go in there and record some stuff. And these are placeholder parts too. Sometimes they'll use the placeholders for the final stuff. This is album 7 stuff. Anyways, not really spoilers, but I was, trying to record some of that stuff. A man came up to me after the show, and asked me if I'd like to meet the robots up close. Well, they greeted me, and one shook my hand, and asked me if I'd like to join their robot band. I said, oh yeah, oh yeah. 1, 2. That's a long pause. That's not usually how long it is, isn't it? Anyways. Everybody's going to the Clockwork vaudeville. Everybody wants to see the show. People clap and stomp their feet and join in with the robot beat. While the music and song fill the air. Clockwork vaudeville. Clockwork vaudeville. Not that you could see it, but I was doing this. You couldn't see it because I was so close to the camera. Okay, there you go. There's my warm up. Now I'm even more tired. If any of you have a question, I'll try to answer it on the stream. Why not? But just be aware that I might go into a rant. I'm not gonna try to take requests. If you can put them in the chat if you want, and maybe you'll get lucky and I'll find one. But as you can see, my voice is a little like. Now you heard my story, so I'll probably not do that. No requests. So, but I'm not gonna scold you if you do. Just know that I probably don't have the voice for it today. Sometimes I just am like tons of energy, but after Instagram questions today, I'm like, not really feeling like my voice is up to par. Thanks, LOL Danny. Yeah, relatively okay. I mean, there's always the forbidding. I'm gonna plug my phone in before it dies. I'll finish my thought in a second. There's always the impending doom thoughts of the external world and all that stuff. Yep. I should be a force for good, though, not think about this. Election, Biden making mass comments as if so he can help voters think that they're making me wear this mask. Like, just wear the mask. What are you doing? You not seeing what's going on in Texas? Sorry, I don't want to get into politics. Is that politics? Not really. It's just, yeah. I'm all for Democrats, of course. Absolutely. But at the same time, you still got to hold people accountable. Like, horrible messaging. I mean, I get it. We all know why. We all know why he walked out without a mask on and then acted like they're telling me you still have to wear it. Like, you're in a room, the whole White House says COVID, and you don't wear a mask. Who cares about the voters? I mean, that's obviously just as a voter. That's what I'm saying. Like, anyways, the world's just stupid now, right? I mean, it always was, but I have less passion for the human race. Is that, yeah? Not like, there's still good out there in the world. It's just, man, I don't know. I guess just the older you get, you have more, I don't know. There's just so many things that affect not only us here in the now, but our futures. And I don't know. Man, it was so different when I was a teenager compared to what teenagers have to are going through now. And it's just a completely different world. And you know that as a teenager, like, you kind of get the sense of it, but nothing's like the times we live in now. And I guess that's how everyone feels, but I don't mean to be a downer. Obviously, I'm here to play music, but that stuff racks my mind a lot, and I feel guilty when I'm doing creative stuff. Is that fair enough to say? Yeah, because I'm working on music. I'm not a doctor. I'm not able to soapbox. I'm not able to do activist type stuff. You know what I mean? All I can do is post my message on my Instagram like anyone else. Yeah, anyone agree with me? Okay, cool. Like and subscribe. But ain't changing the world. You know what I mean? I don't have the power to. You know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That's the hard part. Nothing, because we all have to make ends meet, and we should just be happy with playing video games and watching movies and consuming. But it feels guilty when your democracy's at stake. It's just, yeah. Well, as long as that's on my brain all the time. We're not a punk band. I ain't gonna be making stuff. Did I miss a question? Not that don't feel pressured. I just want to make sure I'm not like. Where are we? Wonder. I have an iPad here too. I have the chat on the actual phone too, but it's actually harder to read because it doesn't parse many emojis or emoticons or whatever they're called on Twitch. So it's harder to read, believe it or not. I don't know why. Wonder Pandemonium asks another question. Do you think you could finish album 7 sometime next year? For you, sure. So I wish I could say more without spoiling things, but I can't. So yeah, probably. But if it doesn't, you'll understand why if we're able to get this other thing out too. Don't worry about it. There will be new music next year. I think that's the easier way to put it. Because we're still going to do like singles, we think, with this with album 7. We think that's a good way to like finish up the album as we're releasing songs. So we'll have like we're not going to do all of them like we did with 1896 because I don't know, things are just different after the pandemic for us anyways. But we'll probably do like 3 songs each. This is just me spitballing. Obviously the band has had talks about it, but we'll release 3 songs each probably. 3 songs for each of the robots. That's what I mean. A spine song, a bunny song, a spine song, a rabbit song, a zero song. Interchanging our performers and their character names. To be fair, bunny and rabbit is a confusing one, so people get that wrong all the time. I just had a slip up. And that's kind of that plan. Most likely. We think that's good. We need singles. Yeah. Deanna 1991 asks, how are you loving Baldur's Gate 3? I'm loving it so far. I had this question on my Instagram stream earlier today. I played it on PC. I bought it. Well, I was in early access for a while because I support that. I've been supporting this company since Divinity Original Sin 1. I'd done all their early accesses for the other games too. And yeah, I put in 110 hours, I think, in my first playthrough, and I finished it up a few weeks ago, I think, or was it last? Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. So yep, I loved it. It's definitely it has spoiled me for other video games. Starfield isn't hitting the same. No, they're two different games, but there's just you can see the love and the thoughtfulness that went into Baldur's Gate 3, and that's not to say that Starfield also wasn't, but love and stuff in there too. But you're kind of looking at it and you're like, how much money does Bethesda owned by a ZeniMax? Like, there's a lot of money behind that, and you're like, this is what we get? Maybe that's not fair, but, it doesn't look... Whatever. Why am I acting like anyone? I'm not a video game reviewer. You can look at plenty of hot takes about this online, but I do like... I'm enjoying both games, but Baldur's Gate 3 has definitely set a standard for me, and probably a lot of other people. They're like, we want this kind of RPG. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, and just I'll reiterate what I said on my Instagram stream, since some of you obviously don't follow me over there as well. I played I made basically SugXCon, but not the same character. I did a tiefling, dragon, draconic sorcerer. Yeah, that's what it is. Which is basically SugXCon, except tiefling instead of human. So I played through as that, and I romanced Karlach. Yup, and my party was Karlach, Shadowheart, and Lae'zel. Yep, pretty much for the whole game. I think I did most of their stories. Cool. Yeah. What else we got? Any more questions that I can answer? Maybe I'm scrolling through. I know even if the chat's not flowing super fast, it still takes me a while to read things. How's the stream quality going? Twitch tells me it's perfect, but I know in the past it's cut out and stuff. So if that's the case, well, there's probably not much I can do. But let me know if it has been cutting out, and I can restart. If not, we'll say. Okay, cool. That's always... Thanks for... I know you would let me know if it was bad anyways, but always good to check in with the stream. Once again, I'm trying to be more interactive, right? And not just pick questions. Not that you have to have questions. I just want to make sure some of you all feel a little more. How do I've never used the auto mod. Let me just do this really quick. Yeah, okay. I'm approving comments that the Twitch stream held because it thought they were swear words. I'm like, not really. Vespartan85 asked the question. I've got one, just a yes/no question. You get my 2 fan letters? I wish I could answer yes or no to that, but my honest answer is I don't know. We do get fan mail from a P.O. box, and Chelsea Penyak is able to sort through some of that stuff, but I have not seen a fan letter for a while, or at least sometimes they're more generic, some with names, and I haven't seen one that I could put a name to in a while. So sometimes it's fan art, but I don't think I remember seeing one that says Vespartan85, so apologies. It's not like we have a rule that we respond to all fan letters, but we do try to send, if someone's sending us a fan letter for the first time, we'll usually try to send them a postcard back. Yeah, the honest answer is I have no idea. I'm gonna sing Mima Baby. I know I did that last on the stream, and you probably want to hear some new stuff or deep dives, digs, or whatever. What would the saying be? Deep cuts. There we go. Deep dives, divs. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do need to. I'm still practicing these songs. I don't really need to practice "Mima Baby" to be honest, but it's one that I feel comfortable singing when my voice is kind of haggard. Is there such a thing
is too much of a good thing. I ask myself that every day. That is until the weekend comes and the sun has gone away to sleep. Then there's only one thing on my mind, a good time. That's right. Me and my baby love Saturday nights, Saturday night. Yeah, me and my baby love Saturday nights, Saturday night. With the dancing and the singing like the weekdays never happened. I should be dancing right now, 'cause me and my baby love Saturday nights, Saturday night. Yeah, me and my baby love Saturday nights, Saturday night. We'll see how, when I get to the higher parts, what happens to my voice. I'm just warning you in advance. Not that you need it. My voice might crack, and it might sound bad. But a healthy dose of humility will make you nod and appreciate that I'm just a human. But with that said, man, I can just talk forever, can't I? Anyways, I'm still gonna talk. But with that said, don't form weird parasocial relationships with people on the internet. Even though I'm a human and just like you, and you can relate to flub ups and stuff like that, just keep it healthy. I'm just a human streaming because you like Steam-Powered Giraffe and all that. Is it weird to bring that up every once in a while? I think it is. No, it isn't, because otherwise it's always hindsight, right? It's 2020, and with Steam-Powered Giraffe doing it for 16 years, though, plenty of weird things been sent to the band, and we use the worst example sometimes when people ask us, but we've had the scary fan encounters plenty of times in our lives, plenty of good ones too, but it's not just for our own safety, but also your health and whatnot. So please enjoy whatever music or the talking and all that, of course, and I will say hello when I can. But make sure you got your parasocial relationships with creators or stuff stays, the realistic relationship that, at the end of the day, I there's a lot of you and one of me, and I don't know you all personally, right? And I don't even have that many friends in real life. Not that I need more. I have plenty of friends. The talk of the town is where we're headed next, 'cause everywhere we go is the best. It doesn't matter the company, but we're pretty good company for you to have around. I can't do the harmonies, you get the idea. I shouldn't say that every time I do these songs, right? I can't do the harmonies, but sometimes it's their first stream, so I try to treat it like you've never seen a stream before. I don't know how to stream. That's why I can't be a Twitch streamer. I don't have the time for it, but also I don't have the practice to do it perfectly. Me and my baby love Saturday nights, Saturday night. Yeah, me and my baby love Saturday nights, Saturday night. With the dancing and the singing like the weekdays never happened. I should be dancing right now, 'cause me and my baby love Saturday nights, Saturday night. Okay, here's the high part, let's see what happens. Yeah, me and my baby love Saturday night. And not terrible. Take a walk. Maybe I should whistle. Oh, it's hard to do the deep ones. doldrum of the work week gets me feeling down. Misery and sorrow follow us around. And when that music hits and the band starts to play, please you better get out of our way. 'Cause me and my baby love Saturday nights, a Saturday night. Yeah, me and my baby love Saturday night. Me and my baby love a Saturday night, a Saturday night. Me and my baby love Saturday. There we go. Yeah, not too terrible. But my voice is a little haggard, so I can do some of the high parts. I think my range is just kind of shot from all them screamy stuff I was recording this week. You guys, Wonder Pandemonium was what I don't keep up with Taylor Swift, but is she doing? She's making it worse how she interacts with fans. I always like, oh, this person interacts with fans very well. Like, yeah, you can tell they love their fans and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess that is a slippery slope. I know the whole Lizzo stuff. I always thought she was. I mean, not that she isn't. Was really interacted with fans and like pretty a positive source. I mean, she also, could dish it out, I suppose, too. So kind of writing that line of what's appropriate. And then, of course, all that stuff came out about dancers and being fired and inappropriate stuff in the workplace, all that stuff. So obviously people are more complex than one thing, but yeah, it is it's a balance, right? And I think when you're small, it's a little easier, but it's also a little scarier in some ways. For Steam Powered Giraffe, anyways, if I go through the years, we've had our bouts with things, not like publicly. I mean, I'm sure there's been a few things on like Tumblr back in the day, but like, there's been people who have scared us and whatnot. I mean, they might mean well-intentioned, but you don't know them as people, right? So when you're small, it's kind of like, we are accessible, we're not like 300 feet away, we're in a small theater with you or at a convention. You can walk up and shake our hands. Well, since the pandemic, we haven't had that opportunity, but, and we won't at our January show because we're not doing autographs and stuff, but that is kind of like, you get a little different kind of a crowd, and we all know the worst cases of that kind of stuff. I don't have to mention news articles and stuff, but I do know personally, like one of those people, and it's hard to. Well, personally, I'm not going to say who it is, but knowing people who went through that, their significant others and their relatives, like. That's hard to contend with, especially since we do similar stuff and we interact with our fans and we love our fans in a similar way that those people that unfortunately had life-ending circumstances with. That's a pretty tough. That's tough, right? Because most people mean well, even the people who are scary, and it's but there's always going to be the worst case scenario, I suppose. But that's not the way to look at it. It's the way to you got to have healthy boundaries, right? Yeah. Well, hopefully, you Just Bubs, you're able to see a show in the future, whether that's Steam Powered Giraffe or whatever other artists. We don't try to make our shows too expensive, but prices did go up for renting theaters and stuff, and you kind of have to be like, okay, we fill the theater, you want this, because we try to make it like if we sell out VIPs and like half the theater, that will cover the show, paying the performers. And I don't mean just like Bunny and I or something, but we have to pay sound people and lighting and stuff, and we're making this January show I don't want to say as cheap as possible. We're not. There's no bells and whistles. Like we're not doing projections. We're not doing fancy lighting. Well, there'll be lighting. You'll be able to see us, but we're keeping it.
because we didn't know how well it was going to be. Like if you sell out a show, cool, yeah, we have the budget. We could have hired a lighting person, but we didn't for this one because we were like trying to pay it. And it's more important to focus on the act and how it sounds and making sure that people get the. And we performed in less, so it'll still be a good show. But yeah, hopefully you're able to see a show in the future. But hopefully they'll be, still be able to experience, photos and behind the scenes stuff that we submit. And I'm sure someone will take a picture or two from the audience, even though, we're not supposed to have phones at the show because, you don't want to, because you ruin the rest of the people around you wouldn't be appreciative of you people filming. Also, it's there to be experienced for the ticket holders. It's an experience to see live. It obviously doesn't translate well into a phone. Maybe if you're at a stadium show, sure, whip out a cell phone, no one's gonna care. It's kind of the thing. But in a theater, it's not really the norm to record a performance. Like that's why that's why it says that on that venue. Like you're in a theater setting. It's a little taboo to do. Anyways, Wonder Pandemonium. Wonder Pandemonium was asking about. I mentioned Chelsea as my partner, so I noticed this a lot. Maybe it's just us older folks in our 30s, but we don't say boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. And I just noticed. I don't know if I started doing that, and people but I feel like a lot of people these days say partner. But for all intents and purposes, I think that's the saying, or the idiom, or whatever it is. It's probably not an idiom. I don't know. I'm not very good with the English language. Or any language, to be honest. Not even body language. But yeah, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. We don't plan to get married. I know that's a weird thing to say, but we're both not interested in marriage. Not because we don't think we're marriage material. Sure, I'd marry Chelsea if I was into marriage, but I don't know. I'm not bohemian or anything in a weird way that you would imagine or something, but I just don't really believe in it, and there's no benefit. We're not making tons of money. And everyone I know that's gotten married because they wanted to for financial reasons turns around and says, yeah, it wasn't really. I know two people, and I'm like, well, there's no real good reason to get married. Yeah, show of love and all that, but it doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't mean anything to us, It kind of, whatever society has turned into. I don't want to wax poetically, not that I'm very good at that either, but about my beliefs and stuff. But yeah, that's marriage. My parents got divorced. All I see is a bunch of people getting divorced. People are doing it. I haven't gotten married to someone, and I've been with them in a steady relationship for 10 years, So, and marriage just doesn't even seem, it doesn't mean anything, yeah. And partner, yeah, boyfriend, girlfriend sounds, I don't know, it just sounds weird. I said that back in the day because that's just my vocabulary, but maybe society has just changed a little bit, or the people I'm around. Even Brian mentions that, and I feel like he's not as into the social media and stuff, so who knows where it comes from, but it's just the people that I interact with, I guess. Feels a little more respectful, I guess. I like that. We're very independent people, even though we live together, and I'm just lucky that Chelsea and I get along so well that we can live together. Same with her sister, we can live as roommates and stuff. Yeah, interesting question. I don't think I've ever been asked that. Yeah, and yeah, I say that. I don't really talk too much about my personal life. People usually don't ask about it because I'm not super open about all of it, because I have in the past, and back in the day, when I have been dating people and stuff, it doesn't matter how popular you are, really. There's always weird backlash from dating people, and sometimes they want to, they're gonna have their Facebook thing. They're gonna say you're in a relationship with David, or back in the day or something. I don't have Facebook now, but oh yeah, that's my girlfriend, blah blah blah. And sometimes, of course, they have your partner, whoever they may be, kind of have to sign up for. Even if Steam Powered Giraffe is small, they have to kind of willingly want to sign up for harassment. Even in Steam Powered Giraffe's thing, it's not like every day or something, but guaranteed you'll get something. So yeah. Yeah, that's just how it goes. And most people brush it off, and no one really pays attention. But just imagine having any ounce of limelight in your life where you didn't, and that's not something that you'd want. So, as Steam Powered Giraffe has gone on, I've been more and more private about that stuff. Not because I don't want to share stuff. I do. I absolutely do. But I'm putting it in songs rather than actively just talking about it. I don't know. I want to, but I don't. I don't want people to pry into my personal lives. But at the same time, there is a little bit of that. Like, yeah. So I'll say it. People know that I'm with Chelsea, and whatnot. So I think that's good enough. But I always get a little scared talking about this stuff. Not that I'm uncomfortable talking about it, but it's like the past. For the longest time I kept it a secret who I was, like, who am I dating and all that, and like, because I don't want to bring that upon them. It's Steam Powered Giraffe has literally no. I mean, it does. It's a big part of our lives, all of our lives, but it really isn't. Like, I obviously talk about Steam Powered Giraffe a lot. Anytime I'm talking to people, I don't have much else to talk about. I mean, I do, video games, whatever, stuff going on in the world, but it's my thing I do every waking moment. And, it is a thing that's not just a normal job that, you hear your roommates bitching and moaning about, venting about their horrible day at work and customers and stuff like that. Of course, yeah. But most people aren't talking passionately about their job as much as Steam Powered Giraffe. So there's a little bit of overlap, but it's not as ingrained in my daily life as far as interacting with partners and stuff, because it already is. It's like literally it's even if without trying, it's a waking moment. Yeah. But yeah. Also, yeah, I'm polyamorous too, and it just kind of worked out that way. And I don't really talk about any of that stuff because it's no one's business, for one thing. But yeah, I say partner too because I have multiple partners. And I'm not a swinger or anything like that. You don't have to read into it more than just that I have two people in my life that I love equally. Love is infinite. Kind of. Only one person has caught on to that song, knowing what it's about. So now you know. But yeah. Yeah, it's been years. I've never said anything like that, so I'll continue to not say things. But for the 48 people here, there's a little insight. The next song I'll try to play is Hot in the Trail before I get a little too tired. That's weird. I was just talking about it. Maybe I shouldn't play it now because it kind of feels weird to go right into it. But I just happen to have to play that song to practice it. Here's a question I missed earlier because I was rambling. Can I ask the reason for not doing autographs and meet and greets? This is from Like a Soliton, by the way. Can I ask what the reason... I'm butchering this question, sorry about that. Can I ask what the reason for not doing autographs, meet and greets at the January show? You've probably answered this before. Is it because the event itself is the focus and could be a bit overwhelming? That is the exact reason. There are multiple reasons. It costs a little extra to rent the venue. They're really nice. It's not super expensive, but it'll save us a little bit of money not having staff have to fill the lobby for more than just merchandise, because our autographs can take like 2-3 hours sometimes. And the other reason is because it's a little too overwhelming for us. It's not that we don't want to put masks on and go shake hands. I think we would have to. But it's just, I think it would be too much for us. And the band collectively agreed. We know it's a disappointment. Obviously, some people will only go to a show. We know this because they've told us, and we've seen people say it. Some people will only go to a show if they can meet us afterwards. And I get it a little bit. We could probably have the most dog shit sounding show ever, but at least you got to see us on stage and then shake our hand at the end, right? And, but yeah, we're just not ready for that. Not after the pandemic. Not because of the pandemic specifically. We know it's a risk. We know we're going to go out there. We've had plenty of contemporary artists and bands say, oh yeah, we caught COVID from interaction, meet and greets. I think that's a little bit of it, but less and less so. I mean, COVID is going on the rise now. Hopefully in January it'll be a little less of an issue. I'm still not looking
forward to getting it. Still haven't got it, fingers crossed, but I've known plenty of people who've got it. Brian, one of my partners, I've dodged it so far. That could just be my reclusive nature. That could be because we do tests. But to be fair, even when we do the COVID tests once a week for the band, because we're singing in each other's faces. It's everyone that I know that has gotten COVID in the last year or so seems to be getting it after they test negative, and that means they've carried it for, you know what I mean? So like, by the time someone's caught it, they've already tested positive enough times after they've tested negative, so no one's actually, it's just kind of like, we're doing it because it's the only way it's better than nothing, right? But we can't realistically sing with masks on in front of each other. We just have to kind of like, Brian had to fly to some one thing event that he was hired to do, and you know, we just didn't do a rehearsal that week, you know, just to make sure, because he was on a plane. So yeah, that kind of stuff. But yeah, we'll definitely do autographs and stuff. I mean, we know we're losing out on a bit of money too, potentially, because we make a lot more merchandise sales when we do autographs. I know that's a crappy thing but we have to take that into account, obviously, because we're making money off ticket sales a little bit, but so is the theater, and the theater does take a little bit of merch profit too. So it's kind of, you know, local shows are the best way to make money for us, but we know we're going to take a little bit of a hit. It's all just because it's our first show back. I think that's the easiest way to put it. So apologies if we don't do that sooner than, but we will eventually have autograph lines and stuff, or meet and greets. Maybe the first time we do it, it'll be a meet and greet for VIPs, so it'll be a little less people, like 50, 60 people. But to be honest, it will be a little less work for us. Not that we don't like shaking hands and stuff, but it can go on for quite a while, and that's a lot of extra VIP stuff and the handshake stuff. If we haven't done it in a while, it actually is quite a. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to set up the show, and we're not gonna throw that onto our new sound guy first show. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna get a nice thing where it's like, okay, the band's gonna go do this. You cool? Like, we're gonna hire people, obviously. You know, he'll have assistants and stuff, but we need to just get that worked out, and not having the stress of having to go sign autographs and shake hands will just be a nice boon to us, at least for our first show. So I guess we're being a little selfish in that sense, but hopefully it's understandable. It's not for nefarious reasons or that we don't appreciate the fans. Obviously, we would love to do it, but we're trying to make it the best show we can and not overwhelm ourselves. I think so. You kind of had the right thought there. But yeah, it's definitely it's not because we don't want to put the work in. I think it's just, we just had to make that decision. Yeah. Sorry for repeating the question over and over again. I have answered that, and Chelsea has on social media a few times. I just try to be thorough. You know how I am answering questions. Okay, I'm gonna play this Hot in the Trail eventually, unless I find another question I can answer. I missed that one. I like how the AutoMod holds abbreviations for swear words, like laughing my ass off. I don't really consider ass a swear word. Little Macarons said, talking about the marriage things, in 30s, I refer to my significant other as partner because husband felt weird to use. Yeah, I don't want to be a husband. I don't like the term wifey either. I don't like the term hubby, even worse. But whatever, that's semantics. That doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm not a swinger, if anyone's still talking about the polyamory stuff. It just so happened I happened to fall in love with two people at the same time. I'm not going to put anyone on what's the term? Do people say blast? I don't want to put anyone on blast because that's their private things. But you can probably guess. If you know me, you know the two people I work closely with all the time. You've seen them at shows. Everyone's cool with it. I'm not looking for other relationships. I know Bunny gets some weird propositions, but not me. I keep all that private as much as I can, and this is the first time I've ever said anything about it. One person asked me, is Hot in the Trail about this? about, and I'm like, Hot in the Trail is a song written when I released it at the present when the issue was already done. Like it was a place and time after it had already happened. I didn't write it in the moment. So it's a place and time for me and my partner going through that. And it's like water under the bridge even when I wrote the song, which is the only reason why I wrote it, because I was like, is this okay to sing about? Because it's like, I don't have strong feelings where like, it's like breathing air now. I was like, no one cares. And that takes obviously 3 people who they're all monogamous, so that's how that works. You don't need to know details, but just for the record, just so no one thinks I'm looking for relationships. I just happen to be into relationships, fall in love with 2 people, and I couldn't, and maybe that won't be forever, but it's lasted through the pandemic, which was hard, but it's still going on. Now let me play the song. Awkwardly enough, let me just play the song that is about this, but not because I was talking about it, but because I have to practice it for the upcoming shows. And I already was going to. Okay, I'll look at more questions later, but there we go. Okay, now this is why I don't say anything. It is not the 2 Peniak sisters. That would be very weird. It is Chelsea Peniak and Gabby Gonzalez. Now I feel like I have to say the names because I cannot bring that upon Camille, who I am not in a relationship with. So yes, I will. I need to nip that in the bud immediately. And please do not think that. That is not. I am roommates with Chelsea's sister, and yes, we all get along fine. But that is not. That is a weird try. That would be weird. That'd be weird. And we're like family, you know. So I know you meant well, but even that one sentence, I could see it. I could see it popping up in a month or a week or something, you know. Just someone. Rumors don't necessarily spread from the person who first types it. You know what I mean? It could just be someone read your thing and then thinks that. Anyways, yeah. Please don't speculate. I said as much information as I can now, so hopefully that is enough. And you all know Gabby Gonzalez, Beastly Makeup on Instagram. She does a lot of prosthetic work. She works in Hollywood and all that stuff. And she's done a lot of art for Steam Powered Giraffe. And, yep. Yeah. Okay, enough about my personal life and more about this song that I keep delaying playing. Okay, I'm going to sing it a little slower because I'm not sure if I can sing it at tempo today. Like I said, I very much voice is haggard. Oh, before I forget, this is like 15 minutes overdue, but Vertimus Prime X, thank you for the Prime subscribe. I appreciate it. Let me see what tempo I can do this at. I'm gonna screw up because I screwed up during our rehearsal this week. I have to like play it multiple times a week, otherwise it kind of goes away. It's just not quite in long-term memory yet. It's like I can figure it out if I get a second, but it goes really fast, and sometimes I mess the chords up, and I'm still messing up some of the lyrics at the end. So bear with me. This is actually a practice that is beneficial to me. Well, you don't like the way that I am, the way that you want and the way you understand. Can't help being the way that I am, the way that it is and what I know. So sorry of all of these things that I be, and I know not you, but this ain't how I wish for me in your way. And I know, just know that I know it's all of me. All the little pieces make up so much sense, and the distance, whoa, fragmented to the point of is it possible? Hard on the trail, of a real fine line. This could be what it means to be alive. Can't be too sure, but it feels the right way. Love is infinite like sun rays. I know what I need to be me, and I know being me makes it hard to see. The distance hasn't all. Nope, that's not the. I'm swapping the two of them. Someday I'll get the right one first. Oh, standing on a precipice isn't new. Those demons sometimes get me seeing blue. Call this, what I gotta speed the tempo up. I always wanna, the problem with the acoustic version of the song is I keep slowing it down, which is okay. For our acoustic live stream, we'll probably play it a little less slow. But for the purposes of rehearsal for the January show as well, I should be playing it at a higher tempo. Call this what you want, but it makes me feel alive. Stowed it, showed it, now I know it can't be in my mind. It was pouring. I've been storing this for a long while. I consumed, felt doomed, sung anew to eventually in time. But you don't like the way that I feel, the way that makes you feel worse all of the time. Know that it's not okay for you, not for me, and it's for you. So sorry about all of these things that you didn't sign up for. Wish the pain on you, it's so sore. Honest to fall, I know that it hurts and it keeps on. Oh boy, I don't know if I can hit that. No, let me try. Every single time we try to make things right, you and I just kept digging it deep below our feet till we started to sink. And I didn't know what to do. I told myself the truth, and I could understand, you could understand. But how could we stand when there was nowhere to stand? And all the little things that got under our skin didn't make us better than that heavy weather. I hope that it's better, never upset her. We took our hands, made some vague plan. Whoa, that takes a lot more effort to sing those parts. It's like I have to like clench down a little bit, so I know my voice is a little ragged. Like the higher notes don't come as easy, and I have to like put a little more. You're not supposed to strain, but just to get those notes, I had to strain a little bit. I'm a little out of tune. Might as well take this time to tune up. Not that it matters for the rest of the song. Where was I? On the end of the... Some big plan. All the little pieces make up so much sense in the distance. Whoa, fragmented to the point of is it possible? Hard on the trail of a real fine line. This could be what it means to be alive. Can't be too sure, but it feels the right way. love is infinite like sun rays. I know what I need to be me, and I know being me makes it hard to see. Oh, nope, now I want to do the second one. I want to do the first one second. Nope, the second one should be first. That I wanted to do. I keep doing the wrong lyrics. The distance hasn't all the distance. Sorry, I'm having a hiccup. The distance hasn't always been clear, but finally, with our love, it could appear. I'm slowing down at the end. As you can tell, I'm getting a little more fatigued with it. But you don't like that it. But you don't like what it is, and you don't. Now I'm really like botching the chords. It's real easy. I just that's why I have to do this every week. And hopefully not do it when I'm like getting more tired by the end of this dream. But you don't like what it is, and you don't know what it is, and I can't sum it up easily, but I know what it is that I plainly see. Yeah, who could have liked what it was? It caused such a fuss. My heart placed in your hand, then we gave love a chance. And there's a lot of chords that I'm just rearranging the position that I'm playing, like based on if I'm in the verse of the chorus or the pre-chorus. And the problem with this song is I don't really know what the pre-chorus versus the bridge versus the post-chorus. You know what I mean? It's really, it's a little confusing. But yeah, we've never actually played On the Trail live. I think I'll be fine for the show. It's just, I was doing so good with it for so many weeks, and then I screwed up during rehearsal last week. Not one that we streamed or anything. And it was basically two parts that I keep screwing up on, the lyrics. I know I just have to roll with it, and I should do that instead of stopping, but that's why I need to keep playing it. I need to play it like multiple times a week, and that week before I only played it once. Anyways, I know I can get through it, and whatever, if I don't, then I just gotta go to the next part live on stage. It's a fast song. It's actually a little easier at tempo. It's harder and easier at the same time. I should probably end the stream soon, because I was going live on Instagram live for a bit. If anyone has any more questions, I would take a crack at answering some before I stop. And that'll be that. Oh, there's a question right there. Like Sultan asks, David, do you believe in aliens? I think as a kid I was more open to the possibility. But I guess now I'm kind of like, well, I think maybe they do exist, but like so far away that they don't know we exist, if anything. And more like that intelligent life is probably, not that we're intelligent, but is probably a lot more rare than we would like to fantasize about, right? If we like sci-fi and stuff like that. I think I'm of that kind of mind. Yeah. What, like I'm the expert on, is there life out there? I think there is. I feel like there's got to be at least bacteria or like tardigrades or something like that. They're probably on the moon with that. I can't remember what country sent them, and their thing crashed, and now there's probably tardigrades on the moon. The bears, what are they called? Anyways, yeah. I think there's probably life forms like that out there. Simpler life forms, maybe single cell organisms, maybe, or life that we can't comprehend, like
not carbon-based. Who knows? I think that's more a possibility, but not that we're going to find them in our solar system. I think space is just too big. I think it's just we're just such an anomaly, you know? Or maybe not an anomaly, but like statistically improbable, and we just happen to be that thing. But don't think about that too much. You're going to get some out-of-body experiences if you think about it too much. I definitely get that sometimes if I start thinking about, I can only see my hands, and I don't do drugs or anything, but like I'm assuming that's kind of, I haven't had an out-of-body experience. If I focus too much on not just, and even talking about it, or the thought process of, I can only see my hands, I'm stuck in my own head, I can't see my own eyeballs without a mirror. Like, you know, when you start thinking too in depth, like it's not a panic attack. I'm sure some people would, but it's I don't know. It's like my brain does a thing. It's ever since I was a kid, and I think Bunny has it too. It's one of the, and I think I've read it on Reddit. It's just hard to describe. It feels like a disconnect, and for a second, I'm like very, very scared because I feel like, am I ever going to be able to get back into my body? Not like I'm not getting out of my body, but like my consciousness and my subconscious thoughts and like in the presence, I kind of zone out. And I'm trying not to, just thinking about it gets me closer to the edge of it happening. But it's like a weird disconnect where I'll kind of freak out, and it's happened when I'm falling asleep sometimes if I'm really tired and trying to stay awake because I don't have the mental capacity to kind of stay grounded in reality. I know that makes it sound like I'm, for lack of a better term, crazy, but I feel like that's an experience that humans experience maybe with drugs, so I'm probably just tapping into some type of the psyche that is like the brain kind of misfires or something. I don't know if it's not a condition, I don't think. I think it's just not many people are thinking about that. Okay, so as long as some people get that. Shen, as always, seems to have something like that. Yeah, I know that sounds weird, but I know there's people out there who have experienced it, because when you talk about it, the experience enough, I don't know how to describe it, but I've definitely met people who have it, and they're like, oh, I thought I was the only person. Yeah, but it's not too many people. It's not everyone I talk to. I don't think it's a special gift or anything. I wish it was a superpower. But no, I think it's just, you know, our brains are weird, and somehow they're wired in a way that just, you can just kind of zone out too much. Not like I'm not thinking about anything. I think about things too much. I think that's the problem. So, but it's pretty much like, why, you know, it's feeling the consciousness. If you know, that's what it feels like to me. It's like it's trying to understand with an internal thought your existence in a very non-verbal way. It's the feeling. How does existing feel? And that's what brings me to that out-of-body experience, for lack of a better term. But yeah, I don't do drugs, but that's talking to people who have done that. That's the closest that I've come to. It's like, yeah. But I'm not like like for a few seconds I can get back to it. But yeah, not like astral projection or anything like that. I don't really believe in spiritual stuff. I'm not religious at all. Very sciencey, but I do believe the brain is weird. So don't need to have anything magical or weird scientific sci-fi to have your brain be weird, right? Yeah. Anyways, don't want to freak anyone out if any of you don't like talking about the big picture stuff. I know some people can't talk about the universe and stuff, feel how insignificant we are. You get some foreboding doom and all that kind of stuff. So apologies if this is touching on a subject that's uncomfortable for you. Back to questions. AC Core asks, what's your personal favorite song you've done? Well, I guess we guessed that question asked a lot. I'll put my guitar away because I know I'm not going to play anymore today. But I'll answer a few more questions before we go. Yeah, that's a hard one. I think jokingly I'll say, oh, I love them all. They're all our children, you know. Much like any art, if you're an artist in some capacity, how can you pick just one favorite art piece, you know? I guess if you don't have as much, I guess it's a little easier to like, I don't like this, I don't like that. Because I do hate all the stuff I made equally. But, you know, showing love for it and your work is a little harder to do. You know, we're always so critical of your own work. But if it's my song specifically, not just Steam Powered Giraffe, you know, I'm pretty proud of Hot in the Trail because it conveyed a feeling that I successfully hid the meaning of for years. Not to talk about Hot in the Trail. And only one person contacted me asking, is this what it's about? And they literally detailed it. And I said, yes, but I am not sharing this with anyone else. And they were like, understandable. And it was like an email they sent us right when the song released. And I've never gotten, like, no one else is, everyone thinks it's a breakup song or something. But it's vague enough. I don't want to think that it was, the answers were already there or something. Like, of course it's vague. But that someone else in the world was able to, like, connect with it on I know that there's other people out there who went through a similar experience and they knew exactly, they literally were able to describe it to me without asking me. You know what I mean? They asked, is this what it's about? And I literally said, yes, period, but I'm not saying anything else publicly. But now I kind of am with the stream. But so that was a pretty good accomplishment. That's not really, the song is good. I feel proud of that one because even I had other bands like Avenue Park, Robert from Amity Park literally contacted us directly and said, hey, all your guys' music is great, but we actually really like this song. And I'm like, cool, yeah. I get that, because it's like, if you're not into the barbershop-y stuff, that's kind of honeybee, I suppose, a little more folky vibe with Clockwork or something. Yeah, it was a little different, and we've done plenty of that, but that one resonated enough with people that it's getting a little more. So I am proud of that one. It's hard to sing, not because emotionally or whatever, but because it's actually hard to sing. It requires all the harmonies. It requires Bunny and Brian singing all their lyrics correctly. So I obviously I can sing it by myself, but I'm missing parts of the verses because they have to. It's a callback kind of thing. While I'm taking a breath, they sing the missing words. So it's a brain. That I feel like I've gotten pretty good at. It's remembering which it's always the simple stuff, like why can't you just the thing I screw up on now is standing on a precipice isn't new, mixing it up and swapping that and saying the second one first. It is standing on a precipice is the first one, see? So even now I'm second guessing myself. But I'll practice specifically that part. It'll be fine. Or it won't, and I'll just switch them up. We do that with Clockwork all the time. But now we finally figured out, how do you remember which. Well, I don't know why. Sometimes just weird things you flip-flop. And even on an album, Clockwork has the verses swapped or it's the people crowd the door, scream and shout for more, or people clap and stomp their feet, join with the robot beat. We switch that up all the time. And on an album, when we redid it for Steamroll Heights, we swapped them accidentally. We didn't even think about it. We're like, yeah, that's the order. And then we're like, oh wait, no, it isn't. Years later. So yeah, I guess that's the end of the stream. No more questions I think that I can answer, that I don't see any, but thank you for joining me for all this. Hope you all had some enjoyment out of it. Sorry I was a little tired. Just the end of the week. Maybe one of these days I'll do it when I'm more awake. I've definitely had streams, right? Is that about it? Yeah, I don't have anything else to talk about. I think I've talked about all the stuff. We will have that acoustic show in October, probably middle of October. It'll be a paid-for acoustic show that the band is putting on. We'll be in makeup. We'll have basically a partial set. It'll be like 75% of a full set, so it'll be like an hour long, we think, rather than like 2.5 hours or something like that. Maybe a little longer. We're doing like a VIP thing too afterwards, out of character, but still makeup. Just as like a fun bonus, like if people want to throw more money our way, they can buy the VIP ticket. We don't have any of that on our website yet because we haven't quite solidified the date. Brian has some shows he's doing locally, and we're waiting for that schedule so we don't pick a Saturday in October that he has a show. So within the next week or two, we should know that, and then we will be selling tickets for that. And I think they're going to be around $10. We think. I don't think they were $5. I think it was $10 to watch the live stream, get the archive stuff and all that. And then the VIP one is a little more expensive for, to make it special. Ask us questions on the stream, watch us goof around. So trying to, Amity Park kind of turned us onto their that. I described that a little bit to our patrons in a blog about last year, I think. They were like, oh, you guys got to do this. I'm like, yeah, we tried to do the plugin thing, but we're like, this is going to take too much investment when we also have to work towards our stage show again. So we decided acoustic would be the way to go. So we've been working on that, doing some streams on our Patreon to kind of test it all. And the last 2 streams were pretty good. The last one was the best. We've been doing it like monthly. And that's the setup we're gonna do for October. And we'll have like, it'll be like a 3 or 4 days in a row, probably 3 days, where we have 2 rehearsals out of makeup, and then we'll come in the next day and do it again. So it'll be like practiced, and more importantly, less for us as performers and more for the technical side of things, because if anything goes wrong the first rehearsal, they're like, well, we got tomorrow. And the second day, you know what I mean? Like, chances are we'll figure out most of the stuff, because right now we've been doing it one day. I take the day before to set up, and then we do it, the live stream for patrons, the day after, and it usually works out. Haven't had too many issues. Every once in a while, of course, as it goes. But yeah, should have more information on that soon. And of course, we have the January show, but there's only a few seats left, and there's not too many that are next to each other anymore. You know, it's because people buy seats and they like leave one in the middle. But most people seem to fill out the theater. There's like a few scattered ones left, if you happen to be in San Diego for that. But if not, we'll be doing another San Diego show, hopefully soon after January. We'll probably announce that at the closer to the end of the year, because we know we have to book it. Otherwise, if we wait till January, we probably won't be able to get another opening for a theater for 6 months out. So hopefully within a few months after the January one, we will have another San Diego show. Okay, that's my spiel. Take care. Thanks for joining in. Have a good rest of your week. Did I do this stream last week? I can't remember. I try to do these every once in a while. Helps me play songs. Sorry I didn't do too many this time. But hopefully me talking was just as good a substitute. Probably not, but whatever. Okay, see ya. I pressed stop, but it didn't stop. Let me press stop again. Okay, it didn't go do it again. Okay, am I pressing stop wrong? Yes, okay, it popped up. I had to use my thumb. It didn't work with my index finger. I don't know why.